Let's turn this on. It's smoking like a train. Should it be filling the garage with smoke? What is that noise? Welcome back everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on the garage. Yes, today we're going to be working on heating the garage, or fundamentally changing how I heat the garage. So to any of you wondering how I currently heat the space, I use a gas space heater. So it uses gas for the burner and it uses 240 mains for the fan to kick the heat out. It is very, very effective and it will heat this entire space in about 2 minutes. However, I would say maintaining the heat is challenging. You can turn the burner right down, but it is a little bit smelly. You do have to keep one of the windows open just so you have fresh air circulating. It's effective, but it's not going to suit my needs for the long-term projects. So if you're wondering what am I going to use to replace the gas space heater, it's this. It's a diesel heater, which is traditionally found in camper vans and motorhomes. And yeah, it just uses a fuel source that is diesel that's pumped to the heater. It takes fresh air in one end and kicks it out the other. And that is it really. That is as simple as it comes. Obviously, there's a few parts here that come in the kit, and I will be bolting on a solar panel, fueling it from a car battery, and that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing today. So what I'm planning to do is mount all of the components on this piece of ply that I had as an offcut in the garden, and it will very much be made up of the fuel source at the top. We'll have a pump and a filter down here. We'll have some warm air ducts either side of the space heater, so we'll be drawing the cool air from the garage into the heater and then sending the hot air back into the space. And this whole board will be mounted on the back of the garage there, and I'm hoping to have the ducts come through this wall here. So yeah, I think we'll just crack straight on and get all of this lot on that board and work out where we go to next. I started building a simple bracket to mount the diesel heater to. The bracket was made up of 2 shelving brackets, which one had to be cut down to cater for the heater outlet clearances, but once cut and bolted to the steel surface plate, this was ready to fit to my backing board with ease. Next, I started putting components onto the backboard. This consisted of the fuel tank, the heater bracket that I made, which then accepted the heater. I fitted the fuel pump and fuel filter. I then ran the fuel line loosely from the tank to the filter, then the fuel pump, fixing it in place with simple P-clips to keep it on the board. I tightened on the exhaust to the bottom of the diesel heater, curved the exhaust tube and temporarily screwed the silencer to the board. Lastly to go on was the combustion air filter. So that is 90% of the components fitted. I now need to whip everything off. I'm going to drill a big circular hole for the heater outlet and then work out a heat shield solution for the exhaust, where I'll then put everything back on and then work out powering the thing next. So in a pursuit for a heat shield, I found this bit of scrap metal in the garden. It's always good hoarding things, isn't it? I'm going to cut that now and use that on the backboard for the exhaust. I cut the steel sheet with a grinder, then drilled 4 holes, 1 in each corner. I then spaced the plate away from the board and offered up the exhaust. At this stage, I was really happy with the rough layout of everything, so cracked on and removed each component ready to take the backing board to the next step, which was painting, then drying and waiting. Okay, so there we have it. That's everything kind of final fitted, with the exception of a few bits and bobs. The main thing is the battery. So the battery at the moment is sat on 2 brackets, but I do need a little platform for that to fix into. So at the moment that's just resting on the brackets, just to give you an idea of where it will sit. We have the fuel tank securely mounted, and obviously I've done the valve that sits at the bottom of the tank. That was relatively easy. That was just running a wire through the neck of the fuel tank and then pulling the valve through and tightening that up. So yeah, that's all plumbed in permanently. That obviously goes into the filter, then into the pump, then into the heater. We've got my lovely fabricated heat shield, which, by the way, I ended up cutting down in terms of its height. You know, it was a bit too tall because I cut the board down. I used the offcut of the board to create the roof. Obviously, I'm going to build a box around this entire thing, clad it, and it will blend in with the back of the garage nicely. Hey everyone, so it's now a few days on from when I started doing more work on the heater, and it's safe to say it is pretty much complete. I'd say that's 95% done. Let's just take an opportunity just to show you some of the work that I have been up to. So as you can see, I've now built a frontage to the unit. I've cladded it in a internal kind of pine cladding, which I will treat. I'll probably varnish it. We've got the panels, so that panel is removable, that goes in the front. This panel here goes in the side. I've hooked up a battery, so yeah, put the battery in ready for testing the thing, but we'll get onto that in a minute. I've put a UPVC roof, which is just an offcut of cladding. This stuff usually goes on the outside of houses, garages, sheds, whatever. I've basically painted it grey so it looks nice and aesthetically pleasing. We've got the controller plugged in, but obviously we'll be disconnecting that when we pass that through the wall. In addition, I've got a 12-volt lead which goes into the fuse box just in there. The beauty of that is that if I do want to mains charge the heater in the winter months, I can do that from within inside the garage. Sorry, not the heater, the battery, so I can trickle charge that. So there's no time like the present. I think it's time to fire this thing up, see if it works, see if it runs on the diesel and the car battery that I've got in there. And then if we're all good, we'll mount it to the back of the garage on the concrete slab that I poured yesterday, which has now gone off. So we have a level surface just under the windowsill for mounting it. Let's fire this up and see how it goes. Okay, let's turn this on. Start heating. Something's firing up. There's fuel. Fuel is coming through the filter. Fuel is getting to the pump. It's coming from the filter. Also, we don't appear to have any leaks, so that's good. Fuel is going into the heater. I command you to fire. Is that paper going to catch? I've got a heat shield for the exhaust. It's making noises. Fuel is gushing through. It's blowing cold air. Oh no. What should we do? Should we turn it off? Should we turn it up? Right, we're about to smoke the entire garage out. This is not good. It's absolutely pouring smoke, but I think that's okay. Oh, wait a second. I think that's blowing hot. Hello. Here we go. Round 2. I think it's working. The exhaust gases are clearing, and I can hear and feel, oh, lovely warm air. I don't think I can see any leaks. All seems to be working nicely. I don't believe it, it's actually working. Right, I've turned the controller down, which turns the fan speed down. So we'll just run it on tick over for another sort of 5 minutes, burn everything off, check for leaks, and then we should be in a fantastic position to fit that onto the back of the garage. Let's turn it off and let it do its shutdown process. It does a bit of a cool down method just to enable the heater to exhaust all of its heat.
Thanks for using. I wish you a safe journey.
Hey everyone, so yes, it's now the next day. Sorry, I'm filming this in dribs and drabs, but it's safe to say the heater is now at the back of the garage. Yes, it is mounted on the back. It took a little bit of a shunt and a pull and a push, but I got it out of the garage, got it onto that concrete slab and fed the air inlet and air outlet pipes through the wall, and they're now just sitting there working beautifully. I can just walk up to the back of the garage, hit the power button, and command the heat comes on. So what next for the project heater? Well, I've got two things. I've got a solar panel still to mount on the back of the garage to take the sun's rays and trickle charge that battery. That'll be made much easier by the fact that I've got a fuse box that I can simply plug that into, and then that circuit is fused. I also have the ducting to sort out, the air outlet ducting. I want to extend and kick the heat out into the centre of the garage just so it heats the space a bit more evenly. But aside from that, we're pretty much done. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the video there. Obviously, I hope you've enjoyed the content. It's very different to working on a project car, but I'm so glad that I fitted the diesel heater into the back of my garage. I hope it's inspired you. If you've got a shed, a workshop, a garage, obviously use the video for reference, but do not use it as a guide. Go out there, do your own research, and if you're unsure, get someone who's more than capable of fitting these heaters into camper vans, into motorhomes, because they should be able to fit it onto the back of wherever you want it. So thanks everyone for watching. Obviously, if you've liked the video, hit the like button. Do comment on your thoughts of my install, that would be fantastic. And if you want to see more content, hit the subscribe button. But until next time, I bid you farewell. See ya.